also heavily financed. You may not know that they have 9 months left in office. Yet, we see them blaming Mayor Layton for everything, even if he is a big part of the blame. Should council take the next 9 months off while Wilkes-Barre, our city, is blowing up from gangs and from drugs and from thugs? Now, those who know me know that I'm not a politician. I'm not part of the administration, and I'm not from any of the special privileged families in Wilkes-Barre who know somebody. You know how it goes in Wilkes-Barre, how you have to know somebody. Well, I know nobody. I owe nobody, and I'm owned by nobody. I do not like what is happening here in Wilkes-Barre, and I don't think you do. I happen to love Wilkes-Barre just like you do, and I want to turn Wilkes-Barre around. Quite frankly, I want to return Wilkes-Barre to its glory days to the extent that we can do that. I'm a problem solver. I spent 23 years in IBM as a senior systems engineer. After that, I networked the campus of College Misericordia while I was teaching computer science. I retired as a professor on the faculty of Marywood University in the Business Information Technology Department, and for years at King's, I taught healthcare administration and I taught computers and information systems. I know how to solve problems. And even more importantly than that, I know how to teach people how to solve problems. I've written 58 books, and I have 2 more on the way. They're just in the printers right now. My last book that is available is called Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, Return to Glory. Now, I'm serious about Wilkes-Barre. That's why I wrote that book. It took me 4 weeks to write it. It was the most pleasurable book that I've ever written, and it's full of wonderful things about our wonderful city. You can download it for free on my website, www.briankellyformayor.com. For more than a year now, I have been researching, I've been studying, I've been planning, and now I'm running for mayor of our town, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. I am the underdog in the race. I don't have to tell you that. You all know that. The politicos do not want regular guys like you and like me running for mayor of our town. Now, am I a crime expert? What do you think? Am I a crime expert? Simply because I spent 6 years as a military policeman and I carried a loaded .45 pistol at my hip while I was on duty at Fort Drum, New York, and Fort Monmouth, New Jersey? Am I a crime expert? Not quite. Likewise, a 4-year police chief on a city pension since 2004, is he a crime expert? I have to give you the same not quite. And perhaps we once were, perhaps we never were, but it was a long time ago. And what we really need is expertise. The city, all of us, we know that what we need is to hire real experts who know how to make our city safe again. We cannot rely on legends. My priorities are to make Wilkes-Barre a safe city, an affordable city, and a clean city. None of it matters if we don't have a safe city. And so that's what I'm focusing on most in this presentation today. My first act as mayor of Wilkes-Barre would be to hire an expert public safety director who may very well need to be called a police commissioner, because the chief of police and all the police will report to this particular person, as will the fire department, as will EMS, as will any part of the city that's required for any type of contingency. If we have to block streets with fire trucks or big snow plows or whatever we need to be able to do, we need to have a person in charge who can do that, and who can also who also would know how to run the police force. Now, the next act, my next act, and in fact in concert with the police commissioner, will be to create a special violent crime unit and to hire an expert supervisor of that unit. We're going to hire an expert supervisor of that unit. So we're going to have 2 new hires. Only the best officers on the force, on the current police force, will be evaluated and will be selected. We need a top quality supervisor, and we need officers that are selected from within, or they're hired from outside the department if we don't have as many officers choosing to join this elite group as we need. Members of this unit will be fighting violent crime. That will be their sole purpose. That is it. They will not engage in domestic abuse problems or in minor burglaries or traffic violations. They will focus on, isn't it hard to believe with the problems that we're having that we don't have a special unit focused on major violent crime? Okay, they will have none of these other duties. They'll fight organized drug crime, and they'll solve and work on the homicides that result. Our city, you know it and I know it, has been unprepared. We are still unprepared. To the bad guys, we are like babes in the woods. They love coming to Wilkes-Barre. They just love Wilkes-Barre. And we've got to get it to the point where they don't love our city anymore, and they pack their bags and leave. The same old here hasn't been cutting it for us, has it? We have to crush this problem. We have to crush this problem to bits. We have to stomp it down. The police have to get out of their comfort zones completely, and the people have to be able to become comfortable again living in their Wilkes-Barre homes. We have no choice. Short of bulldozing the whole town. None of us want that, and obviously nobody's going to suggest that. We have to outsmart the bad guys. We have to lock them up. And if we can't lock them up, we got to get them to the point where we're chasing them right out of town. When it is no longer comfortable, when it's no longer a comfortable spot for these gangsters to conduct their sickening business, they will leave Wilkes-Barre as quickly as they found us. Now let me just say a few things about my campaign. I've already said this, and I'll say it again because it's worth repeating. I've heard many people say that what we really need to do is clean out the whole city administration. I represent part of that cleaning out. I am not a politician, and I've never been part of the administration, and I'm not a politico. I am, in fact, the underdog. The people who vote for me are not the elite. The people are not the big shots. They're not the political, and they're not the privileged. I want you to think of me as the guy who represents the rest of the city. I'm talking about that part of the citizenry of Wilkes-Barre that has never been represented. Now, may God bless you all. Thank you.